The seven-star hotel stands as a monument to elegance and opulence in the heart of a city known for its extravagance. Surrounded by towering skyscrapers, this establishment is more than just a place to stay. It's a fortress of luxury, where privacy is as valuable as the gold leaf embellishing the walls. The exterior of the hotel, with its grand architectural columns and regal statues, hints at an almost royal heritage, while the gleaming entrance, lined with red carpet and flanked by courteous valets, signals that this is no ordinary hotel. Inside, the hotel's lavish design is a testament to taste and wealth. The lobby is adorned with pristine Italian marble floors, glistening under the ambient glow of custom crystal chandeliers that dangle like art pieces above. Intricately designed Persian rugs are scattered across the lobby, adding a touch of exotic richness. Each piece of furniture, from the plush velvet couches to the handcrafted wooden tables, is carefully curated to create an ambiance of understated elegance. The air is tinged with a delicate fragrance, a blend of rare oud and sandalwood, exclusive to this hotel, which gives it a unique olfactory signature that guests can't forget. The staff members, dressed impeccably in designer uniforms, move with quiet efficiency, their expressions disciplined, their gestures refined. They're trained not just in service, but in the delicate art of discretion, for they are privy to the secrets of the city's elite. This is where billionaires, celebrities, and powerful politicians come to unwind, negotiate, and sometimes engage in behaviors that they would rather keep hidden from the public eye. The hotel offers not only luxurious amenities, but also the implicit promise that whatever happens here stays here. Yet, within these golden walls, drama brews like a storm waiting to unleash. As exclusive as the hotel is, it's still a place where human ambitions, desires, and conflicts play out. This is where people's deepest secrets come to light, where alliances are forged and broken, and where scandals are born. In the luxurious suites with their panoramic city views, behind soundproof doors and beneath silk bed sheets, stories are written that could shake the world. The guests know that this sanctuary is an oasis of indulgence, where they can escape the prying eyes of the world, but sometimes even the best-kept secrets can't be contained forever. One guest, in particular, embodies the spirit of this hotel like no other: the billionaire. His presence has almost become synonymous with the establishment itself. Tall, commanding, and exuding an aura of untouchable wealth, he frequents the hotel as if it were his second home. He's a man with power and charm, and he knows how to wield both. Regular patrons and staff members alike are familiar with his entrance, marked by his bespoke suits, the gentle clinking of his polished shoes against the marble, and the subtle, approving glances from those around him. His appearances are always a spectacle, setting the hotel abuzz, even if everyone tries to maintain an air of nonchalance. In the wake of his arrival, a quiet sense of anticipation fills the air. His tastes are impeccable, his demands are met without question, and his tips are legendary. But there's something more, something unspoken about his frequent visits. Some say he's conducting business. Some suspect he's meeting with influential figures behind closed doors, while others, including the hotel staff, can't help but wonder if his stays are fueled by something more personal, perhaps even secretive. The staff and other guests may not know the details, but they understand enough to stay out of his way. It's within this palace of privilege and discretion that the unthinkable is about to happen. What was once a quiet haven for the city's elite will soon find itself embroiled in a scandal that threatens to shatter its pristine image. The hotel, built on the pillars of luxury and confidentiality, will soon witness a tale of deception, betrayal, and ambition that will ripple through its golden halls. For the billionaire, what started as another evening in his familiar sanctuary will spiral into a battle for his reputation, legacy, and perhaps even his freedom. In a place where secrets are meant to be safe, One misstep could unravel everything, and the Palace of Elegance will soon become the stage for a thrilling drama. Before proceeding to next part, please subscribe if you are enjoying our content. We put too much effort into creating these videos. 2. The Billionaire's Arrival, Glamour and Intrigue. Enter the scene. The billionaire's arrival at the hotel is nothing short of a grand entrance, a show in itself. He steps out of a sleek black limousine, its doors opened by an attentive chauffeur who waits patiently as the billionaire takes his time. He's dressed impeccably, his suit tailored to perfection, hugging his frame in a way that speaks of refined taste and extreme attention to detail. His shoes, polished to a mirror finish, reflect the city lights as he strides confidently toward the hotel's entrance. Every detail of his appearance has been meticulously crafted to project an image of power, wealth, and control. Beside him is his girlfriend, a woman of breathtaking beauty, known in social circles for her elegance and charm. She's adorned in a designer gown, its fabric shimmering with every step she takes, her hair styled to perfection. Her presence alongside him adds an air of mystery and allure, making them appear like a modern-day royal couple. Together, they're a picture of sophistication and wealth, turning heads and drawing whispers as they walk through the lobby. The staff, accustomed to high-profile guests, remain professional, but even they can't ignore the undeniable allure of this couple. As they move through the hotel, they're greeted by familiar faces, managers, concierge staff and security personnel who have grown accustomed to their presence. The billionaire nods subtly, acknowledging them, but his gaze remains focused, as if he's here for a purpose beyond the ordinary pleasures that the hotel has to offer. To the onlookers, his demeanor is both captivating and intimidating. There's an intensity in his expression, a sharpness in his eyes that suggests he's a man used to getting what he wants. His girlfriend, ever graceful, complements his energy with a quiet elegance, casting a disarming smile at anyone who dares make eye contact. Their destination is the presidential suite, the most luxurious accommodation in the hotel. It's a sprawling space with panoramic city views, complete with its own private terrace, indoor spa, and exclusive butler service. The suite is a symbol of status, reserved for only the wealthiest and most influential guests. For the billionaire, it's not just a room, it's a domain, a space where he can escape from the world while still indulging in its finest pleasures. The suite is ready, meticulously prepared to meet his every need, from the selection of rare wines to the arrangement of fresh flowers that add a subtle fragrance to the room. The billionaire and his girlfriend settle into the suite, their evening just beginning. They dine in style, enjoying a meal prepared by the hotel's head chef, a culinary masterpiece that complements their refined tastes. They sip from crystal glasses, engaging in quiet conversation, their laughter and shared glances a testament to their connection. To the outside world, they seem like a perfect couple, untouchable and content. But as the night progresses, their interactions suggest something deeper, perhaps an unspoken tension or a shared secret, as if they both know that beneath the surface of this glamorous evening, something is waiting to unfold. Unbeknownst to them, their arrival has not gone unnoticed by the hotel staff, particularly one young waitress who has been assigned to serve them. She's a newcomer, unfamiliar with the billionaire's routines and the unspoken rules of discretion that govern this establishment. She watches him with a mixture of awe and curiosity, her eyes lingering perhaps a bit too long as she tries to understand the man behind the polished exterior. There's something about his presence that captivates her, something almost magnetic, and she can't help but feel drawn to him, even as she knows she must maintain her professionalism. The billionaire notices her, too. Perhaps it's her striking features or the way she carries herself, but she stands out to him, if only for a brief moment. He acknowledges her with a nod, a small gesture that seems insignificant at first, But this seemingly harmless interaction is the spark that will ignite a series of events neither of them could foresee. For the billionaire, this night was meant to be like any other, a blend of luxury and intimacy shared with his partner. But as fate would have it, his arrival at the hotel on this particular evening will set into motion a chain of events that will forever alter his life. As the evening draws on, the atmosphere becomes charged with an almost imperceptible tension, as if the opulent surroundings are holding their breath in anticipation. The billionaire and his girlfriend continue their evening unaware of the eyes that are watching, the whispers that will soon turn into accusations, and the secrets that are about to unravel. What began as a night of glamour and indulgence will soon descend into a tale of scandal and betrayal, with the hotel serving as the perfect backdrop for a mystery that will leave everyone questioning what they thought they knew. Before proceeding to next part, please subscribe if you are enjoying our content. We put too much effort into creating these videos. 3. A white lie. The encounter with the waitress sparks suspicion. The waitress, young and new to the hotel, is still adjusting to the upscale world of luxury hospitality. She's a striking figure with a natural charm and a quiet poise that make her stand out among her peers. She came to this job with the hopes of finding stability, a chance to earn a decent living, and perhaps brush shoulders with people she had only ever seen on TV. As she walks through the lavish halls of the 7-star hotel, carrying trays of champagne and fine dishes, she's fully aware of the wealth and power surrounding her. But tonight is different. Tonight, she's assigned to serve one of the hotel's most distinguished guests, the billionaire and his girlfriend. It's her first time seeing him up close. She had heard stories about him from other staff members, rumors about his wealth, his charm, and the air of mystery that always seemed to follow him. But seeing him in person is something else entirely. There's a magnetism to him, a confidence that makes her feel both nervous and intrigued. She approaches the table where he sits with his girlfriend, careful to maintain her professionalism, but it's clear she's a little starstruck. She serves them their drinks, her hands steady, despite the subtle thrill that runs through her. As she sets down a glass of champagne, the billionaire looks up and makes eye contact with her. It's a brief moment, but there's something in his gaze that she finds hard to interpret. Is it mere politeness, or something more? She tries to shake off the feeling, reminding herself that she's just a waitress, and he's one of the most powerful men in the city. But as she turns to leave, she feels his eyes on her, lingering just a little too long. Over the course of the evening, their interactions grow slightly more personal. When she brings out dessert, he offers a polite comment about her service, complimenting her professionalism and smile. The words are innocent enough, but there's a warmth in his tone that feels different. His girlfriend is engaged in her own conversation, leaving the billionaire and the waitress in a moment of subtle yet undeniable connection. She smiles, responding with a soft, "Thank you," and quickly exits the room. But the exchange leaves a lingering impression on both of them. As she continues her shift, she can't stop replaying the moment in her mind. Her colleagues notice that she's distracted, but she brushes it off, attributing her behavior to nerves. Little does she know, this fleeting encounter will soon become the centerpiece of a scandal that will alter the course of her life and his. What seems like a harmless interaction will soon be twisted and magnified, setting off a series of accusations that neither party could have anticipated. In the days that follow, she finds herself thinking about the billionaire more often than she'd like to admit. She tells herself it's silly, that he probably doesn't even remember her name, but something about their exchange sticks with her. She imagines the what-ifs, the possibilities of a different life where someone like him could take an interest in someone like her. It's a fantasy, she knows, but it's a tempting one. Then, a few weeks later, she makes a decision that will forever change both of their lives. Whether motivated by hope, desperation, or a desire for attention, she tells a friend about her encounter with the billionaire. She exaggerates the details slightly, perhaps to make it sound more thrilling, and mentions the lingering glances, the way he seemed intrigued by her. Word of her story spreads quietly among her friends, and before long, the rumors reach the ears of someone who has a direct line to the media. In an instant, her private daydream spirals out of control, transforming into a tale of seduction and power that will become the headline of every tabloid. What started as a small, perhaps innocent lie will soon explode into a full-blown scandal, one that threatens to engulf both her and the billionaire in a storm of accusations, secrets, and suspicions. The shocking claim: "I'm pregnant with your child." 9 months pass since that fateful evening, and the billionaire has nearly forgotten the brief interaction with the young waitress. Life has returned to its routine pace, his relationship with his girlfriend still intact, his business ventures thriving. But just when he thinks he's left that night behind him, a shocking claim emerges that threatens to destroy everything he's worked for. He receives a letter, not from a business associate or rival, but from the waitress herself. In it, she makes a bold accusation that sends his world spiraling into chaos. She claims she's carrying his child. The letter is detailed, accusing him of coercing her into a private encounter on that night. She writes of feeling powerless, describing him as a man who used his influence to have his way. She insists that she was left with no choice but to comply, painting herself as a victim of his charm and power. According to her, what happened between them wasn't consensual. It was a manipulation of power, leaving her with a lasting reminder: their unborn child. The billionaire is stunned. He reads the letter over and over, searching for any hint of truth, but he can't reconcile the woman's words with his memories of that night. The waitress has not only written to him, but has also reached out to the media, painting herself as a victim of his supposed advances. The tabloids pick up the story, splashing it across front pages with headlines that scream scandal. In a matter of days, his name is dragged through the mud, his reputation tarnished by accusations that he insists are nothing more than fabrications. But the public is quick to take sides, and many believe her story without hesitation. The narrative is powerful, casting her as an innocent woman preyed upon by a powerful man. And it's one that resonates with people who are all too familiar with tales of the rich and powerful exploiting those beneath them. As the accusations mount, the billionaire's personal and professional life begin to unravel. His girlfriend, previously a pillar of support, is hurt and confused, wondering if there's truth to the waitress's claims. She confronts him, demanding answers, but he can't provide the reassurance she needs. The doubt in her eyes, once filled with admiration and love, cuts him deeply. He tries to convince her of his innocence, but even he knows that words alone may not be enough to save their relationship. In desperation, the billionaire assembles a team of high-profile lawyers determined to fight the allegations and clear his name. But the waitress is relentless. She claims to have evidence, messages, photos, and memories of that night that she insists prove her story. She describes the details with a precision that seems almost rehearsed, recalling moments and conversations with uncanny accuracy. Each revelation deepens the scandal, leaving the billionaire struggling to hold on to what little control he has left over his life. As the media frenzy intensifies, she makes an even more dramatic demand: a DNA test to prove paternity. The billionaire, knowing that he never engaged in any inappropriate conduct with her, agrees. But as the date for the test approaches, he begins to feel the weight of the accusations pressing down on him. What if she somehow managed to fabricate evidence? What if his life, carefully built on success and influence, is about to come crashing down? Meanwhile, the waitress's story continues to evolve. and she takes every opportunity to paint herself as a tragic figure. She speaks to the press, giving interviews in which she sheds tears and describes the emotional turmoil she has endured. She talks about the stigma of single motherhood, of the financial and emotional toll this has taken on her. With every interview, her story becomes more compelling, more believable. Her pain and vulnerability strike a chord with the public, turning her into a symbol of resilience and strength in the face of adversity. Despite the billionaire's insistence on his innocence, the public is increasingly skeptical. People want to believe her story. They want to see justice served. As the court date looms, the stakes are higher than ever, and the billionaire knows that a single misstep could cost him not just his reputation, but everything he's worked so hard to build. What was once a life of luxury and control has become a nightmare. The billionaire, once the envy of all, is now the subject of ridicule and judgment, his fate hanging in the balance as he awaits the DNA test results. The question on everyone's mind is simple. Is he a predator, as she claims, or an innocent man caught in the web of someone else's ambition? The answer, when it finally arrives, will change both of their lives forever. The courtroom battle. A game of lies and deception. The day of the trial arrives with an air of tension that grips everyone present. The billionaire, flanked by his high-powered legal team, steps out of his car to a mob of cameras and reporters, all eager to capture any hint of emotion that might betray his calm exterior. Inside the courtroom, every seat is taken. Journalists, legal analysts, and the curious public all pack the room, ready for a scandalous showdown. As the session begins, the waitress's lawyer takes the floor, spinning a powerful narrative. She is portrayed as a young, vulnerable woman who dared to work in an elite establishment, only to be exploited by a man who saw her as just another commodity. Her attorney paints a picture of fear and helplessness, describing how she felt intimidated by his wealth and influence. He mentions how she kept her ordeal hidden out of shame, only to bravely step forward now, to protect her child and her own dignity. When it's her turn to speak, the waitress steps onto the witness stand, tears glistening in her eyes. Her voice trembles as she recounts her version of events, detailing the alleged evening, her encounter with the billionaire, and how she was pressured into silence. Her every word is laden with emotion, drawing sympathetic glances from the jury and the audience. The billionaire's lawyer, a cold and calculating man, known for his unshakable demeanor, begins his cross-examination, aiming to dismantle her credibility. He questions inconsistencies in her story and points out details that don't align with the hotel's records from that night. He asks why she waited so long to come forward if her story is genuine, and he reveals messages she sent to friends, hinting that she saw him as a means to an end. These texts, filled with playful references to his wealth, shake her credibility, painting her as someone who might have other motives. But she stands firm, refusing to break under the pressure. Her attorney counters, emphasizing that her messages were innocent, that her dreams and fantasies of a better life are no reason to discredit her pain. The jury is visibly conflicted, torn between the emotional gravity of her story and the billionaire's defense team's relentless questioning. As each side hurls accusations and counter-arguments, the line between truth and deception blurs. The courtroom is a battleground, with each attorney employing every legal maneuver to sway the jury. Witnesses are called, but the evidence is thin, largely circumstantial. As the court adjourns for the day, both the billionaire and the waitress feel the weight of the uncertainty that looms over them. 6. The DNA test, an unexpected twist. After a series of heated courtroom sessions, the court orders a DNA test, a crucial turning point. This test, set to be the ultimate decider, holds the power to clear the billionaire's name or validate the waitress's claims. The billionaire consents without hesitation, confident it will prove his innocence, while the waitress remains equally resolute, convinced that the test will vindicate her. The wait for the results is tense. The media buzzes with speculation. Pundits and talk shows dissect the case, each side presenting theories on what the results could reveal. Friends and business associates begin to distance themselves from the billionaire, fearing association with scandal. For him, the silence of former allies is both painful and isolating. He spends his days replaying every moment from that evening, questioning how he became entangled in such a nightmare. Finally, the day arrives. The courtroom is packed, and both sides sit in anxious anticipation. The results are handed to the judge, who reviews the papers carefully before announcing the findings. A hush falls over the room, and the atmosphere is thick with suspense as the judge's voice echoes in the silence. "The results," he announces, "indicate that the billionaire is not the father of the child." The words send a shockwave through the courtroom. The waitress, who had built her case on this foundation, is left speechless, her expression a mixture of disbelief and horror. The billionaire's team lets out a sigh of relief. Their client finally vindicated. The jury, visibly shaken, absorbs the news, struggling to reconcile the dramatic turn with the emotional weight of the trial. But before the court can adjourn, the waitress's lawyer springs to his feet, claiming there must be an error. He demands a review of the lab's procedures, suggesting tampering, but the judge dismisses the motion. The integrity of the testing process is confirmed, and the results are upheld. As the courtroom clears, the billionaire feels the relief of a man given a second chance, yet the damage done to his reputation remains. The waitress, meanwhile, is left to confront the consequences of her actions. Reporters swarm her as she exits, and the public sympathy turns to outrage. Her once compelling story is now seen as a calculated scheme, a desperate attempt to manipulate a powerful man's life. For the billionaire, the ordeal has left scars. Though his name is cleared, the public's doubt lingers. He knows that trust, once broken, is hard to rebuild, and as he steps out of the courthouse, he faces a future marked by both relief and the lasting impact of betrayal. The DNA test changes everything, offering a sudden yet decisive twist in a story of ambition, lies, and the search for redemption. 7. The fall of the accuser. Public backlash and unraveling lies. The revelation of the DNA results hits the public like a tidal wave. In the immediate aftermath, news outlets shift their narratives. Where once they painted the waitress as a courageous, struggling mother, they now portray her as a cunning opportunist who manipulated the media and the public for sympathy and gain. Social media explodes with outrage, and people who once supported her feel betrayed, their compassion transformed into anger. The waitress, who had found herself briefly in the limelight as a tragic hero, is now the center of a backlash she hadn't anticipated. Strangers bombard her with accusations, questioning her morals, her motives, and even her personal life. She's forced to go into hiding, avoiding the cameras and reporters who once eagerly interviewed her. Online, critics dig into her past, uncovering minor missteps and mistakes, magnifying them to paint her as someone who has always been willing to cut corners to get ahead. The billionaire, meanwhile, experiences a wave of public sympathy as people recognize the harm done to his reputation and personal life. Yet he knows this victory comes with a cost. The friends and associates who distanced themselves during the scandal begin reaching out again, but their newfound loyalty feels shallow. He remains wary, cautious about trusting anyone too quickly. The ordeal has transformed him, making him more guarded, with a fresh awareness of how easily trust can be broken. With the case closed, the waitress's lawyer parts ways with her, his own reputation now stained by the scandal. As she faces lawsuits for defamation and damages, her life begins to unravel. Employers are unwilling to hire her, friends avoid her, and her family struggles to defend her actions. She tries to justify her decisions, insisting that she was driven by a need for security and a better life. But the world no longer believes her, and she is left isolated, grappling with the weight of her choices. As the dust settles, the billionaire feels a bittersweet sense of justice. While his innocence has been proven, the scandal has left an indelible mark on his life. He's lost precious time, relationships, and trust in people he once relied on. The media moves on, but he knows he'll always carry the scars of this battle, and he's left wondering if the damage to his reputation is truly repairable. 8. A new beginning or an unforgiving world. The road to redemption. The billionaire, despite being cleared of the accusations, faces a challenging path forward. The scandal, although disproven, has lingered in people's minds, and whispers of the ordeal follow him everywhere he goes. He decides to rebuild his life with a fresh perspective, focusing on his business, but keeping his circle tight, now more wary of those around him. At first, he considers leaving the city altogether, moving to a place where he can escape the scrutiny and rebuild in peace. But his resilience wins out. He refuses to let the scandal force him into hiding, so he begins carefully re-engaging with the world, determined to reclaim his name and reputation. He makes quiet, strategic moves, investing in new ventures, strengthening his business, and involving himself in charitable causes. His efforts to rebuild are slow but deliberate, a testament to his refusal to be defined by a lie. The public, while generally sympathetic, remains somewhat skeptical. Some still view him with lingering suspicion, conditioned by the media's initial portrayal of him as a predator. But gradually, as he proves his integrity through his actions, people begin to see him differently. Slowly, his reputation begins to heal. The waitress, however, faces a much harsher reality. The backlash has ruined her reputation entirely. She is left struggling, with legal cases mounting against her and her former friends and colleagues distancing themselves. In a final attempt to salvage her image, she releases a public apology, claiming that she was manipulated by others into fabricating the story. She insists that she regrets her actions, though few people believe her words now. As months pass, the billionaire moves on, but he's forever changed by the ordeal. The experience has left him with a hardened resolve and a deeper understanding of the darker side of fame and fortune. He decides to use his influence to advocate for victims of false accusations, hoping to bring attention to those who face similar battles. His story becomes one of caution, a reminder to those in positions of power to remain vigilant, and to the public to question the narratives they consume. For the waitress, the story ends differently. She fades from the public eye, her reputation tarnished beyond repair. But as the billionaire forges ahead, he emerges stronger, having turned a scandalous chapter in his life into a testament of resilience. His redemption is hard-earned, and the lessons he's learned remain a guiding force, a reminder that trust, once broken, is never easily restored. 9. Uncovering the mastermind, the secret plot behind the scandal. Just as the billionaire begins moving on from the ordeal, a shocking discovery brings new revelations. One of the billionaire's loyal employees stumbles upon a series of emails and messages linking the waitress to a shadowy figure, a rival billionaire known for ruthless business tactics and a history of using underhanded schemes to target competitors. The employee realizes that this rival may have orchestrated the scandal, paying the waitress to bring down the billionaire's reputation. The revelation hits hard. The billionaire's initial disbelief quickly turns into anger and determination. He recalls their past encounters. The rival had been envious of his business success and had repeatedly tried to undermine him. Realizing the scandal was a carefully crafted attempt to destroy him both personally and professionally, he decides to take action. His legal team quietly investigates the new evidence, working under the radar to avoid alerting the rival. They compile records of payments, messages, and anonymous tips leaked to the media that all lead back to the rival. This wasn't merely a scandal, it was a calculated attack designed to ruin his life, orchestrated by someone who stood to benefit from his downfall. With the evidence gathered, the billionaire files a lawsuit against the rival for defamation, conspiracy, and malicious interference. The media erupts with the story, exposing the rival's manipulation and drawing public sympathy back toward the billionaire. The rival, now exposed and humiliated, denies everything but finds his own business empire shaken. His board members lose trust, investors pull out, and his reputation crumbles. In his quest to destroy his competitor, he inadvertently brings about his own downfall. The billionaire's victory is bittersweet. He realizes he was a pawn in a bigger game, but takes solace in knowing the truth has finally emerged. The scandal, once a source of shame and pain, has turned into a story of perseverance and justice as the billionaire reclaims his life and emerges stronger than ever. The final chapter. Lessons learned and moving forward. With the scandal behind him and the mastermind exposed, the billionaire reflects on the journey that tested him to his core. He has endured betrayal, public scrutiny, and character assassination, but he has also learned invaluable lessons. This experience has reshaped him, grounding him in humility and deepening his understanding of loyalty, trust, and resilience. He chooses to dedicate his time to new causes, focusing on advocacy for victims of false accusations and the consequences of defamation. His reputation, though once tarnished, is now fortified by the respect he earned for navigating the ordeal with dignity. He's no longer just a businessman, but a figure of integrity who has faced one of the hardest challenges and emerged stronger. As the billionaire reinvents himself, the waitress, too, is left grappling with her choices. In the end, she releases a final statement, acknowledging her role and expressing regret, but her future remains uncertain. Her involvement in the scheme has cost her everything, and her apology barely makes headlines now, overshadowed by the bigger story of the conspiracy. In a quiet, symbolic gesture, the billionaire returns to the hotel where it all began. This time, he's there alone, reflecting on how his life has changed since that night. The ordeal has made him a wiser man, aware of both the value of his success and the vulnerability it brings. Walking out of the hotel, he knows he's entering a new chapter. The billionaire's story has been rewritten, not by scandal or manipulation, but by his own resilience and strength. His journey becomes an inspiration to others, a testament to overcoming adversity, and a reminder that truth, though sometimes hidden, will eventually prevail. The story carries a profound lesson about resilience, the complexity of human relationships, and the ultimate power of truth. It shows us that success often invites envy, and that wealth or status can attract both admiration and malice. The billionaire's journey from public scandal to redemption reminds us that trust and reputation are fragile but invaluable. When lies and deception clouded his world, he chose to face the situation with dignity, even when his trust was shattered and his character was questioned. Instead of letting bitterness consume him, he sought justice without losing himself to vengeance, showing that true strength lies in integrity, resilience, and self-reflection. The waitress's downfall reveals the dangers of deception and the consequences of betrayal. Her choice to pursue personal gain at any cost highlights the emptiness that often follows such decisions, where short-term gains lead to long-term losses. Finally, the story shows that the truth, no matter how hidden or challenged, always has a way of coming to light. In life, we may face setbacks and betrayals, but if we remain steadfast and true to our values, we can emerge from even the darkest trials with newfound wisdom and strength. The billionaire's journey is a reminder to value genuine relationships, to guard our integrity, and to let truth guide us in all we do.